Hey there, Nicole here from Startup Fashion, and today I want to talk about the things that scare you. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and the little bell that's next to it so you'll get notified when these videos go live and you won't miss anything. Okay, so let's talk about the things that scare you in your business. This is a really important topic because the things that scare us are the things that stop us. And when we can start to understand what fears are keeping us from moving forward in our business, then we can work on them and they will stop stopping us. So let's talk about this. You ask yourself questions a lot, things like, just around money, like the fear around money. Am I making enough money? Will I keep making enough money? Do I know how to grow this business? Do I actually have enough skills to do what I need to do? Do I know enough about the fashion industry? Do I know how to build a team? Like, there's so many things that you're wondering about in terms of moving forward in your business. And even if you're not directly asking yourself those questions, they're coming up in your head and they're keeping you from taking the steps that you need to take because you have some beliefs that you can't do those things or you don't know enough about those things. And so when you figure out what's scaring you, then you can figure out how you're going to address it. You really need to break those fears down. You need to look at them and say, what habits are feeding into them? What am I saying to myself to confirm these things that are scaring me? How am I letting these fears sit inside of me and really nest themselves in my brain and keep me from doing anything that I want to do? Sitting with those things and really thinking about them is a really important first step so that you can get to the point of asking yourself, how am I going to fix them? What habits do I need to change? What are the small things that I need to start doing differently to push past the things that are scaring me enough to actually take action on them? Because look, fear is always going to exist and fear is a good thing. It can really motivate us in a lot of ways, but it can hold us back in a lot of ways too if we're not aware. So you want to get to the point of asking yourself, okay, I know what these fears are now. I see where they're coming up in my life and in my work, and here is how I'm going to address it. I'm going to ask myself, what kind of pep talk do I need to give myself every day? What is it I'm saying to myself? Call it a mantra, call it a pep talk, call it whatever you want, but what are you saying to yourself to avoid letting what scares you stop you? What skills are you going to commit to learning? What is it that you need to know more about? Because maybe you do have a fear around not knowing enough about business, and maybe that's rooted in never having taken any kind of business class. Now, it doesn't mean you need to go get an MBA, but maybe you want to learn a little bit about marketing, or maybe you want to improve some graphic design skills or something like that. But you ask yourself, okay, what are the skills that I'm going to be committed to learning? Who will I ask for help? What kind of help will I ask for? What will I take responsibility for within my business and within what's going on in my head? What am I taking responsibility for here? How will I start to think differently? How will I start to act differently? When you can start answering those questions based on the fears that you have, that's how you start to move forward and get past them. So asking yourself these questions is what leads to taking action. And we all know that taking action is what helps you grow. You can't grow if you don't take action. And you can't take action if you're letting everything that scares you keep you from doing anything. So you really want to do this. You want to get to a point where you are able to say to yourself, I will not let what scares me stop me. And when you get there, you're good. Okay, so if you have questions about this or liked it or whatever, you want to share a question or something in the comments, we can talk more about it there. If you want more support and encouragement and guidance for starting or growing your fashion business, head over to startupfashion.com. There's so much there, and it'll really help you. I know it. So, okay, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.